Hello everyone, welcome again to our second episode of this Frido Cacao podcast. So, as we receive a lot of questions, a lot of feedback from our first video, we would love to continue with the second episode, and today we have a beautiful invitation. Here is Karen with us.
Good morning. Well, we are recording this early in the morning, but it's for me a blessing and a pleasure to be with you and talk about cacao.
Yeah, we will give you like a kind of overview what you can expect in this podcast and why we are doing this. As we said, cacao needs a voice. Cacao needs to speak. So the idea is to put the cacao in the middle and talk all around the life, the journey, the process, the producers, the people that is involved around the cacao. We need more things.
We need to share with you information that it's very important to understand the cosmovision of cacao, the cacao ceremonies, where does it come from, because it's plenty of communication and that we have to do during these ceremonies or events. So we find this place of where we can just share all this wisdom and also our own experience as being cacao facilitators and talking from the brand perspective.
So our topic today, we are going to continue with talking about cacao ceremonies. As we said before, what is a cacao ceremony? What is a cacao ceremonial product? Why cacao ceremony is a trend, not just in Australia, is worldwide right now. So yes, we have some questions first for the audience, and we will say you which one was the last time that you assist to a cacao ceremony. How was your experience? Do you feel difference between the facilitators, the place? Which one was the best one that you have assisted? Do you feel the difference between the cacao that you were tasting? Do you feel the vibe? Do you feel the energy? Please, this is we love to hear your side. So yeah, we will start asking if you know the producer of the cacao of what you are consuming, right? Do you know if your facilitators have been in a cacao tal, that is the place where the farmers grow the cacao? I think that kind of questions, we need to ask these questions, right?
Right. And we should start talking about the first, if, for example, Diego, you have, prior to starting this cacao journey here, did you attend any cacao ceremony, or even actually now, currently that we are in Australia, in Sydney, have you attended any cacao ceremony in here?
Yeah, I will share my experience in the cacao ceremonies. I haven't experienced before I arrived to Australia to anything to do with cacao, and I have been assisting in a different ones. And as I said before, I feel they are sharing the cacao first, not in the center of the ceremony. Cacao placed next to someone or something. The second one, just they say is come from the Mayans, come from the Aztecs. It's a superfood, it's a connection. I feel it's the same script for everyone. And for me, I don't feel that connection. And I don't feel like really energy of cacao, spirit, or whatever you want, into my body. But Karen will share with us her experience.
when you're in this cacao journey, you also want to know all the facilitators that are doing this. And I went to Bali in 2020, early 2020, before what happened. And I was lucky, I met facilitator. She's Brazilian. And there's something called Pyramids of She, very sacred place. It's 2 pyramids, and they're replicated to invite all these people that wants to do sound healing, meditation, and of course cacao ceremony. That cacao ceremony was beautiful, but now that we are in this side of let's say of the journey, I know that was something secondary. Cacao was just the drink that was part of a beautiful ritual, where we singing, she was playing the guitar, we were just actually doing some mantras. It was a little bit of between kirtan and just melody, and beautiful oracle cards. And because you're in Bali, you already are in a mood, in like a beautiful spiritual mood. But there was no more than just an explanation of cacao connects to your heart, opens your chakra. And I all the time said, but how cacao is going to open my chakra? This is something very common in all the, in all the phrases they use, like cacao, it's going to open your chakra, allow yourself. And I was, when you just allow yourself and you're drinking, and it's like, okay, the chakra is going to be open. No, it's nothing happens. So then it's like, okay, there must be an explanation of why it's connected to the heart, why it is so related. So that was Bali, and it's beautiful ceremonies, but again, cacao was not the protagonist. And we are here talking about the importance to mention everything about cacao.
And I think the point of this is to not again use the cacao as a commercial thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you will find, if you jump into the history in a deep way, what is cacao and where does cacao come from, and all the history, the cacao has been used always as a commercial thing. That's when chocolate arrives and then everything explodes. But the cacao, at the fruit, at the seed, at the plant, as this growing energy that is surrounding with animals, with vegetables, with birds, with air, with fire, it's always being used. And I would say we have been used. I will include us.
Mm-hmm.
So jump into the ceremonies. It's not that you are drinking something called cacao. It's the way that we are respecting it.
It's. I think you are talking something very important that we want to say, and is not only a nice cup, and then we know the cacao tastes good, but it starts not even here, or not even the facilitator. Cacao, a ceremonial grade cacao that we are using for a ceremony or a ritual, doesn't start from that day. It starts from the seed where the farmer put the intention, and where the land where it grows is not only, as you mentioned, full and surrounded by fruits and plant, but it's already sacred. So it's not recently. It's been harvesting for more than years or months with that sacred way. So just mention that.
And then you have already said something important too. That is about the intention.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will say around 80% of 100, everyone in a cacao ceremony, they said to you to put an intention. To put an intention in your cacao, in your drink. 80%. I would say 90%. If someone of you have arrived at cacao ceremony and no one said, the cacao facilitator don't say that you put an intention, please, I will give you a free cacao drink. Yeah. We will give something to you, right? But the real intention, as Karen said, comes from the producer. And that's something magical. Because if the producer is growing the cacao for being commercialized, it's not the same energy, it's not the same spirit, it's not the same consciousness. So the real intention comes from them. We don't need, as you said, we are the last step, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are thinking that we have to put an intention.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, we said in one ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
the cacao is already have an intention.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the intention was from the farmer
Yeah.
or the producer.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you're putting an decision. Have already intentions.
Yeah.
So do we know what was the intention of that producers to grow in the cacao?
Well, they are really connected with nature, and they grow cacao actually with intentions, with waxing moon, with crescent moon, especially crescent moon, and they already understand how Pachamama works. So, who we are to think that we're going to put an intention to a cacao that already have an intention for us. And this is a point, another thing that I want to, on top of this, mention. What is the difference between a chocolate, a commercial even cacao ceremony, they call it, or a ceremonial grade cacao? First, we said from the farmer, from the harvesting, from the connection and the cosmovision, but also when we attend ceremonies and we find that they're using either nibs or Peruvian cacao, could be other South American cacao, but because majority of the cacao, ceremony cacao, comes from South America, we don't know if there's all the nutrients and all the real spirit of cacao that we need in there. But there's also something like that we need to just be aware. We know where this cacao come from when we do the ceremonies. We know the farmer. We know it was where the majas were established. But the process also, it's part of this difference. So do you want to talk about a little bit about the difference between ceremonial grade cacao that we already mentioned and then other cacao?
And I think we have here not just to put the good and the bad things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an invitation for everyone to try to go deep, to know the story behind, to try to ask us questions, right? I think we are here inviting everyone. That's why we want this channel open. Saying this, we met people in Mexico that it's 7 generations of farmers growing cacao. The heritage is Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference of called chocolate cacao or cacao ceremonial grade comes with the idea of do a ritual, do a ceremony to the cacao tree. They are doing just 2 ceremonies in all the year. And they took cacao from the tree just 2 times per year.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of this is to take that cacao, to do a ceremony to nature. It's a kind of, the first one is a forgive ceremony, and the second one is just to honor. So I have that question for him, and I said, like, how can we know that it's a cacao ceremony? And the answer, it's gonna be shocking for a lot of us, and he told me, if it's a cacao ceremony, cannot be commercial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it's a cacao ceremony, cannot be commercial, because if not, again, we are playing in the other side. And I think we have to, again, apologize, because we have been doing this. We have been doing this as a Frido, right? Selling a cacao ceremony product. Doing cacao ceremonies as we think they are. And it's an invitation only to know a little bit more what is behind and what's a true cacao ceremony. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, I will to put in the table we need to ask questions. We need to ask to our facilitator how he or she knows about that cacao. If he or she is drinking cacao daily. Sometimes they are running the ceremony and they're not drinking cacao. And they haven't been in a cacao towel. They haven't, and it's because it's really easy, and we are part of this. It's really easy that the outside involves, the outside control us, the outside transform yourself without question. We start accepting all the outside. And if you see cacao everywhere and everyone is going to spiritual events and everyone is drinking cacao, you will say yes. And well, sounds easy to do a cacao ceremony. That's the other thing, right?
Sounds very easy, especially when you're a holistic facilitator. Either it could be yoga, sound healing, meditation, because it's an invitation also. Cacao spirit talk to you. That's another thing. And when I mean talk with you, it opens, this is not open your chakra. This is when it opens a door of creativity. It creates this focus on clear what's your path. And yes, your path is going to be with cacao. And Diego said something that for me it's a must. If you are a cacao facilitator, you should consume cacao daily. Not only in a ceremony, but as a part of your journey to know what happens to your body and to your mind and your soul. And we do this. It's a commitment as well. It's a way to respect. I cannot talk from cacao if I don't know if my body change. We can have another podcast that talk about what does cacao do in our lives these 3 years and a half. Totally. But just to mention that when you're a cacao facilitator, you should mention all these sacred harvesting and all the produce that is very different, like a real cacao ceremony as well, like a real cacao grade drink contains all the full energy, like all the magnesium and theorema. It's 100% without anything else. You don't need, imagine so much power that you just need in order to absorb the nutrients, just water. Such things like milk, agave, sugar, other types of milks. Honestly, on personal opinion, I don't think it's necessary. If you already have the sun, you don't need anything else. It's already a cup full of what you need. But that's another thing. In cacao ceremonies, we find that the cacao facilitator, sometimes they really like cacao with other types of ingredients that it's not necessary.
Some people have come to us, and I remember 1 or 2 or 3 that they come and they ask me, okay, what I need to know if I want to do a cacao ceremony. So I have a cacao ceremony in 2 weeks. What I need to know? Tell me what I have to say about the cacao. So the only thing that I said is, I don't know. But the thing that I said to you is you have to respect the cacao. And we are putting the word to you and to us, because we are saying again, I will repeat it, is to us again. We need, we respect in, we cannot say we are doing cacao ceremony. This is something that we are not respecting, because we haven't realized what is a true cacao ceremony. That's our truth.
We haven't attended. You're right.
We haven't attended.
And when Diego means like respecting also the cacao, we've been doing this for 3 years and a half, let's say more, and we don't know anything about cacao, to be honest. Imagine someone that wants to know this in 2 weeks. So just to clarify, you need around 3 of these just to have a drink. And it's like, how can that plenty of cacao, like all the harvesting, can we have all that chocolate in the world? And it's just to mention facts, we really like to educate you around cacao, but it's you. If you want wisdom doesn't come in 2 weeks. It requires a commitment, a journey.
And as we know, all the things that we are sharing is not from us. Is that we keep searching, we keep asking,
seeking. Yeah.
We need to. So saying respect the cacao. That's a message for all of us. Is to try to see the cacao as someone that needs a little bit of more understanding. We are not understanding the cacao. Why I say we are not understanding? Because the main thing of cacao is not to be in a ceremony. That's not the main thing of cacao. That's why we said we are far from the truth. But for less now, we know that we don't know. That's our beginning. We know that we don't know. And that's our opportunity to everyone, right? Asking that questions and trying to go more deep. We are not saying not use the cacao, not keep that approach. The cacao is here as many products. As we said, I think is really important. We, since the Europeans, since the Aztecs, they took the cacao and they tried to commercialize with the cacao. And then we have chocolate, right? So we are talking about the product. Now we are commercialized with the ritual. We are commercialized with the ceremonies. The product is not enough. So now chocolate is a trend, too many years, thousands of years maybe. And now we are commercialized with the ritual. And there is people in South America, Central America, doing cacao ceremonies. And in our research that we did for this podcast, people are saying that the cacao ceremonies come from that kind of people. I'm not seeing a Mayan, a farmer, 7 generations saying, I'm the creator of the ceremony. They will not tell you. They will not tell you something like this. So if someone is telling you, or you hear from anyone that he's the creator, she's the creator of cacao ceremony, that's our purpose here, right? Please. That comes from a different places. That comes from different energies.
That comes from something that we cannot even explain as a human beings here. Come on, this is 3 dimensions, and there's more than 7 dimensions. Cacao comes from something that we cannot even see. Please attend to cacao ceremonies and see what we're talking about. We're not saying here, don't be a cacao facilitator, don't attend these places or these sacred rituals. It's just to be more aware and conscious that the information we are consuming now, it's very superficial, and we want to go further. We want to go deep. We want to go into the knowledge. If cacao would be a career or will be regulated, a cacao facilitator will be the same as be a medical or a surgeon or not even a GP. You need complete full journey. And then after 5 years, you graduate from a cacao facilitator because you harvest and you've been in there. But 2 weeks, no.
Something. So we need to refill our cacao cups. We finish already. So we will go and refill, and we will see you in a few minutes.
Montezuma is drinking like 10 cups now.
Welcome back. We are here again. We refill our cups, so we are ready. So the next question is if the audience, the customers, the client are also responsible in attending holistic, spiritual, or a cacao ceremony. So we think like also is responsible for our part, coming as a client, coming as a customer, to know, to try, to ask, to have that questions of what is this product, what is this drink, why you are doing this. Because as you said, these cacao facilitators are not regulated. So looks easy to put a cacao into your event. And I think this is really important because it's a responsible of both parts. Our part as a cacao facilitators and the other part of the audience. So we need more active audience, right? Trying to get closer to the truth.
Mm-hmm. And when Diego said like we should be more responsible as a client to attend these events, is because you've been probably following this person and seeing their personal growth. Mm-hmm. Probably it comes from a yoga perspective, or it could be a therapist, but at least we know more why this person now is involved in a cacao journey. Because to be honest, this is a call. We call it like a cacao spirit, and when you start, you know there's more to seek. That's why we're here sitting, telling you. Because this is not just sharing a drink. This is an inner personal knowledge about yourself.
Exactly.
And you want to spread this when you are in a sharing circle or in a ceremony. So, as I said, we invite you to go to these events, but be more curious about the person.
So we will ending this podcast giving you some of our advices, some of our sharing of what we think a cacao ceremony needs to bring to you, right? We will say the first one, as big letters on the top, is respecting the plant, respecting the fruit, and respecting the cacao. What we say about this? What we can say? So, respecting the cacao is saying that you are not, or the facilitator is just a practitioner, right? The practitioner that is need to share something about the cacao. I think it's really important to tell the history behind. Mm-hmm. The history give me connection. If I don't know you, anything about you, it's difficult to connect. If you give me more what is behind, it's more easy to connect. So the story, and it's huge, and it's a beautiful story, history. So that's one. The second, I will say, how they prepare the cacao is really important, because again, is trying to respect the cacao, without milk, less sugar, not to. Sometimes it looks like a soup. All the things that they are putting, and maybe at the end, we will say that sorry, because I have drinking a soup sometimes 10 ingredients. Well, I will not share with that. So the facilitator is really important, that they are respecting the plan, that they are telling you the history, and then they are creating a beautiful space to create that connection, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? If you can give some advices to our audience, if they want to realize what is authentic, more close to the truth, what kind of things they will have to see?
I mean, apart from the history and from the like the benefits in health properties that cacao have, and the ingredients, the only ingredient should be cacao, by the way, as Diego said. But also, if you can share any talent, and it could be singing, dancing, are you a therapist, are you an astrologer, include that and incorporate that, but understanding that if you call it cacao ceremony, cacao is the protagonist. Cacao is the main reason we are unite. And I will say that also, as you don't like soups, I don't like cups that looks espresso or looks like plastic cups. It's like I will prefer the container. We have a lot of different cups, and we also respect the calabash, the jicara, or the traditional Oaxacan cup. And we also have here in Frido, that's why cacao belongs to a container. Oh, that's another thing.
Perfect. So we will ending saying, both of us, that we apologize sincerely about all the events that we were doing, that we feel that we were commercializing the cacao.
Yeah.
And that's why we open that space. Open a space for everyone, not commercialize it as a product, not commercialize it as a ritual and experience. Go back. We need to take more steps back. So thank you so much for this episode. Karen, thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate your time and attention to this. And we are here just to seek more truth about cacao.
Thank you.
Thank you.